Hey guys, Mio here, aka LaZW4fuHunter, and today we're going to be talking about part 4 of the Awakening system, and that's the solutions. So, from the observations of people that have been looking at other communities, the Korean player base is very split on the Awakening system. Japan is, personally, seems to be a ghost town from the observations of the same person that has been informing me of how the community has been acting. And global is also split between those that are supporting Netmarble and against Netmarble. So, first of all, we're going to take a look at what solutions can we make to the Awakening system. So, first things first are the memories. The memory system as is in this Awakening system has been implemented very bad. It limits you to having actual dupes, while the collab units are the ones that only have the alternatives. So the only way to fix this is make the dimensional invitation, as seen on here, universal. 3FES is a fair cost for one invitation, but the main problem comes to that, like as I've said before, goes to the collabs. What's even worse, however, is that the golden dimensional invitation requires 6 all-star fests. This is very specific. Just make the golden dimensional invitation 3 of any fest instead of just all stars, because that's very limiting, and we're not going to be pulling all star most of the time when we're pulling these gachas, and even with the increased rates you can still get screwed over. People don't understand RNG is RNG. If you're basing the RNG based on your experience, that's not a very good factor. Everyone's experience with RNG differs from person to person. The overall matter is that we need an alternative route to really get these dupes. So make both dimensional invitations universal, that applies to everybody, and then lower the cost of the golden dimensional invitation down to 3, the same way as the purple ones. So next is imprint stones. Imprint stones are again also limiting because it requires you to get a lot of dupes, and then if you're playing PvP, and I have indeed checked the rules, they did not state that imprint stones are excluded from PvP. It's most likely because they're not in the rule set, they are acted upon as card sets. So make the imprint stones, either you exclude it from the championship mode, or you make these automatically unlocked as soon as you awaken your characters. Makes it a lot easier for people to farm these stones, so they don't have to worry. And also make the Rite of Passage shop a lot more cheaper to go for, because 1,000, and I'm at tier 7 in the dungeon now, and I was told that you get an increased reward the higher you go up in the tiers. This, I'm still getting around like 10 to 20 drops on these coins, and it's going to take a very long time before I even get my first box. So make these circle passage boxes a lot cheaper, at least 250, because you're running these at RNG based. 250 or 200. That's all I can really say. Reduce the hammers down to 100. The most expensive one down to 100, and then the other ones down to less and less, because you're really not getting anything out of it. And these passage boxes, they're pretty much just trash. You can just farm these. You don't really need these. The plus capsule mystery box needs to go somewhere else, because we're already aching for capsules, and you've already taken away pretty much our daily capsule from before on the previous login system, and it's really hard to farm capsules now. Unless we're running events on a daily basis, which we're not doing, then I suggest putting the capsule mystery box into a different shop at a lower cost. Second of all is the Awakening dungeon themselves, the Reviving Hell dungeon. So from what I heard, you actually get bricked beyond tier 10. Once you hit tier 11, you're actually hitting specifics, meaning balance units, attack units, defense units, etc. We're looking at extreme conditions here. Not everybody's going to have all those extreme conditions, because they're, like as I've said before, there are people running specific units that they want to run. Make the dungeons at least not 60 seconds for your units. If you're forcing these, it would be better if the Awakening system was a lot easier to handle, and I would say just you can keep the difficulty but you have to make awakening your characters a lot easier if you're going to make anything past tier 10 almost impossible to beat, because it's not fun. Can't even farm efficiently. And that's what I'm saying. The auto clear tickets should, well, I wouldn't say the clear tickets, auto clear in general should just clear out all the paths, meaning all the stages up to the boss stage from the previous runs should be just compiled together, instead of just having just a 7, like literally you only get 7 EXP capsules or higher depending on your level. And that's kind of BS, because a lot of us worked hard to get past these stages and we're only getting small rewards on the auto clear. So make the auto clear all the past stages, so that way we have an efficient way to get EXP drops, outside of just wailing for this and then just rerunning the same dungeon over and over. It makes it a lot easier on us, and it's still a challenging aspect if we're going up to higher tier, and it will still help us when we're going up to higher tier dungeons. And as for the Rite of Passage, if you're not going to lower the cost on the imprint stones in the shop, then increase the cost of drops in the Rite of Passage, because the drops are way too low for what you're asking. And the fact that we're getting bricked at tier 10 is something that we shouldn't be experiencing, because we're not at that. Not a lot of us are at that level yet. Getting 10, 20 coins per day, that's just way too low just to get up to 1,000 just for one imprint stone, when people can just shell out $8 to $9 just for like 3 stones of random quantities. I know that we're getting a world drop event on Thursday tomorrow, but the stone drops are just way too low, and we're only getting the circle stones tomorrow, which is the first for the awakening system. So with that, I mean, there's really nothing else I can say. We just need an easier way to be able to awaken our units, because as of right now we have no alternative route. It's just relying on dupes, which is RNG based, and it's not fun. I mean, there are people that literally ran 100 summons and has gotten no fests or any of their rate up characters. So with that said, that'll be all, and I hope you guys like the content. If you do, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe.